It's crazy when you're trying to take a beauty shot, but the sun is in your eye and then you start looking crazy. And you try to get it for like 1 second, like, psh, but then you end up going like that. Hey Cakenistas, it's Marisha. What cake are you doing? Oh, I should be, hold on. Let me change. Yep. I made this cake and then I said I have to watch the movie, and I love it and I'm ready to watch it again, and I just watched it yesterday. Alpha Alba. She was so pretty. You see, I have braids now. Me and my mom braided my hair while watching Alba's hair. I was asked to make half vanilla, half chocolate tall cake. The chocolate side had to be alpha, and the vanilla side had to be Glinda, aka Glinda. It has spheres and a drip cake. I said yes, despite my fears. I'm gonna show you guys how I made this cake. So if you have not done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Press on the notification bell. And let's get started. If I had the hat, because I have the braids with the green, oh, please. Alpha Marisha, okay? Alpha Marisha. Okay, Cakenistas, here I have 6-inch cakes. 3 of them are vanilla and 3 of them are chocolate. And can I just say, I tweaked my vanilla recipe on this day, and this was like the best by far yellow cake, vanilla cake that I've ever made. It's so moist. I'm cutting the dome off of these cakes, and you can see that they're all wrapped in plastic, and that's because the moment that they came out of the oven, while they were even still hot, I wrapped them in plastic, and then I like to put them in the freezer, and in my opinion that helps with the moisture. So I'm cutting each of these cakes in half because this cake is half vanilla, half chocolate. I'm going to start off by building my vanilla side. So I'm putting a little bit of buttercream down on the base of that cake layer so that it adheres to the cake board. And you see I've got the other half on there as well, and that's just to have a visual, make sure that I have my cake completely in the center when I add my chocolate half. Down goes a little bit of vanilla buttercream, and then we're going to add another cake half. We're going to continue to build this cake. Now initially, honestly you guys, I was going to add 6 cake halves to each side, but by the time I got to the 5th cake half, I was like, oh, that is plenty. So I am going to put some dowels in here, and these are bubble tea straws. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, yes, this is a very tall cake, and it is for a good amount of people. So when you cut the cake, I want to make sure that you can actually slice it and get a good serving, and then take that cake board off, slice that again, and get a good serving. So it's going to be 2 layers with a cake board, and then 2 more layers with the cake board, and then 1 layer to finish off on top. And this is already making me nervous, but I'm like, it's okay, we've done this once before. We can do it again. We're adding that last layer on top. Oh snap. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. We only need 5 layers. I just found that out. I'm going to hammer a wooden dowel all the way through the center, and I'm taking it not only through each of those cake boards but also through the cake base. That is so important because that is your stability right there. Literally, as I was getting up to grab the cake dowel, the cake fell over. So imagine what it would do if you did not have that dowel at all. Next, we're going to work on our chocolate halves. I'm going to put down a half of that chocolate cake, make sure that it's lined up with the vanilla side, and then some delicious chocolate fudge buttercream. Now here you see me cutting off the domes while it's actually on the cake board so that I can align it properly with the vanilla cake side. And Cakenistas, you know I don't like filming in this yellow light, but unfortunately I didn't have a choice because it was nighttime. Don't worry, it's not gonna last for too much longer in the video, but I had to definitely get this part done the day before. So my process for making a cake like this one while holding down a full-time job, I bake all of my cakes as early as possible, which may even only be like 5 o'clock p.m., 6 o'clock p.m. And then I wrap them in plastic, I freeze them, and then right before I go to sleep, which is right about now, I stack them, I prepare them, I cover them in that crumb coat, that first layer of frosting, and then I put it in the refrigerator overnight so that I can take the entire next day to decorate. Making sure that everything is completely aligned and straight, I can cut off that final dome and add in my wooden dowel. And these really have to be sharp enough. At first my dowel wasn't sharp enough, and all it did was actually push those cake boards down, which almost ruined my situation. So make sure that you sharpen your dowels appropriately. We're nice and secure. We've built our cake, which is now at 9 inches in height. Oh my goodness, the tallest cake that I've ever made officially. Now we're going to cover that chocolate side with chocolate buttercream and the vanilla side with vanilla buttercream. I'm going to use my cake scraper. This cake scraper is literally the most important tool that I'll be using throughout this video. I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and smooth, everything is holding up well, and then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator overnight to set. And it is the next morning, the sun is out, and I'm so excited to get started with this cake. So I've made my buttercreams already. We're doing pink and green. I'm going to apply my buttercream using a piping bag, and that way you've got a nice even coating of buttercream to start off with, and it's going to make the smoothing process a lot easier. Plus, I want to do whatever I can to make crisp divisions of that green and that pink. Now that we've got our pink side done, I'm going to begin smoothing this cake. Now you're literally only going to see a fraction of the amount of smoothsation that I applied here. Like, I went over this cake at least 10 times, making sure that I smoothed it out, filled in any buttercream gaps with more buttercream, smoothed it again, and smoothed it again. So this was definitely at least a 15 to 20 minute process right here, just smoothing out the pink side of the buttercream. I was very nervous because I know what I wanted it to look like in my head, and it's just trying to accomplish it, you know, and you're like praying that it just works out. So once again, that cake scraper, this is why it's so crucial for this cake. I was able to just cut into that buttercream exactly where I wanted to cut it off at, and then scrape the rest away. You can already see how clean, and I have a little chocolate cake crumb that I have to remove, but you can already see how clean it looks. So just imagine what we're going to be able to accomplish once we get our green on there. So now we are going to get our green on there. Same situation. I'm going to use a piping bag to do this, make it easy for myself. I had a lot of cake scraps. You want to know what we do with those? We eat them. No, honestly, because I told her, I was like, you've got to try this cake. This is some of the best cake that I've ever made. That was my mom, by the way. She had her lemon water in her chocolate cake. She loved it. But that's what I make parfaits out of. People always think that I make parfaits out of like leftover cake, and I'm like, no, I use cake scraps, like cutaway cake from cakes that I've just made. And what in the world, like, how much cake do people think I make that I just have, you know, around and I don't have anything to do with it? But once again, I'm smoothing this frosting out over and over again, filling in those gaps. And now I have refrigerated this cake for about 15 minutes. And when you want to make those clear, crisp edges, that's what you do. Make sure that you refrigerate your cake and that you're working with pretty solid or semi-solid buttercream. And this is why. Now you can see I'm pushing in with that cake scraper again, and I'm able to make a nice clean line. It's so much easier to get that real true definition, that crisp look, when your buttercream has been refrigerated. I'm smoothing off the top as well, which totally isn't as important because it's definitely going to be covered up, but always start off with as clean of a base as you can. Now I'm going to do the drip part of the cake. I was so thankful because these are colors that I actually had already, and I'm using this drip. I believe the brand is Roxy. This is amazing, you guys. I love these. I've never had to use it. I knew that I'd have to use the pink, so this really came in handy for me to be like, oh my goodness, I have this chocolate drip and now I can finally use it. These were amazing. All you do is heat them up in the microwave for about a minute or so. You shake it and then it pours out just like this. I'm definitely going to be filling up these bottles when they're empty because I wouldn't want to do a drip any other way than out of a squeeze bottle. I'm going to use the same drip to make my little chocolate bars. So you need a silicone mold because this cake is going to have a couple little decorative chocolate bars on there. And now what I didn't know was that it doesn't quite set up like candy melt. It's a lot softer than candy melt, but I still made it work out for me. Hey, that's what I look like in the elevator when people say hi to me. It's a little awkward, you know. This cake is going to have pink and green spheres. I did not know how I was going to make these spheres. I just figured that I was going to be having to do white chocolate spheres. You guys, I went on Amazon and I typed in cake spheres. There is a company that has them in all colors and they were only $7 a box. Oh my goodness, like I could literally cry. I kind of purchased them on the whim, just hoping and praying that they were different sizes. One box set comes in 3 different sizes of balls, so this was so perfect. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below. They were a little bit dusty, so make sure to wipe them prior to using them, but I love that they have the picks in there so they easily just go right into the cake. And whatever gaps that we have, we're gonna fill with some buttercream, doing little dollops or swirls. And now we're gonna move on to that green side and do the exact same thing. I'm using 2 different piping tips, if you can tell. The pink piping tip has a more tight closed in star tip, and the green one is like a wider star tip, but they're both large tube tips. These are so cute because they remind me of the little ballies that we would wear in our hair as kids. They're adorable. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. I would have definitely wanted little ballies in my hair to look like this cake. That would be so cute. But now my little chocolate bars are ready to be pried away from that mold. I'm going to put the pink ones on the pink side, of course, and the green ones on the green side. This was definitely a cute little touch. So adorable. And of course, I wish I could have used actual white chocolate, but I would have needed a little bit more time to prepare for this cake, which I didn't have. But either way, I mean, it worked out, you know, it tastes delicious. So, but white chocolate's always great. Now, this cake did take a lot of paper toppers. This was one of the toppers that I had to make by hand. I had to make both characters by hand. All I did was print their pictures out on thick white cardstock paper. I cut the pictures out using an X-Acto knife, leaving a little bit of that white on there, and then I put alfalfa on green glittery cardstock paper, and I cut that out once again, and I did the same thing for Glinda. So I made my own little paper toppers. Now I do have a Cricut machine, which is what I use to make this personalized happy birthday sign. I made 3 layers of happy birthday, and then I separated all the layers with little pieces of cardboard to give it more of a 3D effect. I did the wicked sign by hand, and I did the number 6 for her birthday utilizing that Cricut machine. So that was awesome. This is definitely one of my favorite things about making buttercream cakes. All of the toppers just stick right in there. Like, you don't have to do any water, make any paste. It's fabulous. Once I add that happy birthday topper, that was it, you guys. This is so gorgeous. Such a cute birthday cake. And that is how I made this gorgeous, colorful, fun, festive, wicked themed birthday cake. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you thought down below. Couture in a tall, wicked cake. Bye, guys. Well, you guys, my camera died, so we're going to use my cell phone. I hope that you don't mind. Clean off the screen. Hold on. Is that better? It's the same. Perfect. Okay. What did you think of this cake? I can tell you, the moment that I made that first crisp, sharp edge, that pink one, and then combined that green, I said, oh, this is going to be amazing. This cake was actually like a breath of fresh air because it wasn't extremely time consuming. It was just, you had to be very precise, you know, with the buttercream and with the building of the layers and everything. But once all of that was done, everything else was just fun at that point. The tools that you have really do make or break your cake, because having that drip in that bottle, that brand is amazing. I'm going to leave the information in the description down below because honestly, they have been a game changer. I just so happen to have green and pink. And it's crazy because the only thing that I actually had to buy for this cake were the spheres. I love the two different flavors. I love the concept. I love the height. It was 9 inches in height and it was a 6-inch. And it was a 6-inch round cake. The cake needs to comment of the day is going to go to Miss Thomas, who on my waffle cake tutorial, my waffle fries cake tutorial, she says, I love this tutorial. I think that's what she said. I'm going off of my memory. But thank you so much, Miss Thomas, for commenting. I hope that you check out some of the other tutorials and I hope that you love them just as much. If you would like to be featured in a video, all you have to do is be subscribed and comment down below. I did not expect it to end and be like part 1. What? To be continued? But I'm excited about it now. And now I have to see it in theaters because I just watched it on Disney+. Now I'm definitely going to the movies. I never go to the movies. I could tell the last set of movies that I've seen in the movie theater. The Black Panthers, all the Harry Potters, all of the Twilights, and maybe a random Spider-Man in between, and an Iron Man, but that was it. That's it. In like 10-15 years. I don't know what that says about me, but don't judge, okay? Alright. Well, I will see y'all in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, share this video to all of the wicked lovers in the house. It's just crazy how, it's like Maleficent, how like people made her story, they told her story for her and made her the bad person. That's crazy, when in fact she cared about the animals. It reminds me of myself. Not really, nobody's ever like made me the bad, but you know what I'm saying, I just love animals, so that's what reminds me of me. Take care of yourselves, okay? All right, bye.